are
Hi,
you?
I'm okay. Snot, open that blinds. How you?
How are you
How you doing?
doing? Yeah,
Everything is
good,
good.
good.
See, my phone. I didn't know it wasn't charging.
That's okay. We have you. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter where we have you once we have you.
Okay. All right. Everything is good, right?
Yeah, really good
I'm
over
okay.
here. Yeah.
Okay.
How
I
are
was
you
in
getting
Ireland.
on?
Everything's good. Snot, move your books. We're in the hotel. I'm getting a new spot. So we've been here for like. I want them to see me, Shania. I'm trying. Close that. We'll see. This is kind of low. How's that? Okay.
Perfect. Yeah, you look beautiful.
Okay. We're in the apartment. I mean, we're in the Shania. Sit over here. We're in the a hotel.
Hi, Shania.
Uh-oh.
It froze.
We're in a hotel. We waiting to get our new flat, our place tomorrow.
Lovely, brilliant. Well, what a time. Is this a bit chaotic for you? Because obviously, are you guys all isolating over there?
Yeah, but we don't go nowhere anyway. We do online school, Connection Academy, online school. She get a computer, a printer, and how about this? They give you $400.
Wow, that's impressive.
Yeah. It's called Connections Academy, and she's doing really well. She's
Good.
doing
I'm
really
glad to
good.
hear. I'm glad to hear. Did you say that you were in Ireland before?
5 times.
Right. Well, what parts? What parts?
You Catholic or Protestant?
Well, raised Catholic. Raised Catholic.
Oh, so you don't say Chucky or Lar?
Well, Chucky.
I was over there.
It's a bit of a controversial statement over here.
I know. I know. I love all you guys over there. I don't have nothing again. Just want everybody to be happy. That's all.
Yeah, it's all love.
I'm not going to say nothing, Dan. All right.
Well, listen, it's good to talk to you. I mean, like, it's an honor. It really is. Like, you're such a legend in the sport of boxing.
Well, thank you. The thing is that I'm retired now, and it's our job as a retired boxer is to help the former boxers out. I've been trying hard to get involved with the boxing industry since I retired in 2002. I've been trying to get a job with Joshua. I was trying to get a job with Wilder. I was trying to get a Cash Ali. I was training him. I was training Cash, and he got potential too. So I would like to get involved with the industry because it did a lot for me, and I just want to give back. And I probably want to make some money too.
Yeah, well, listen, that's not a bad thing either, right? But when you look at the sport, I mean, obviously it's very clear that giving back is a big part of your character and what you want to do. Where does that come from? Does this stem from not having someone when you were around? Like, would you have liked someone like yourself to have been there for you?
Just even when I was young, the world is so unpredictable, and with the things and how people treat each other. When I was young, a lot of bad things were said to people of my color. When I was young, a lot of bad things was done, and so we grew up wanting the world to be better for everybody. A lot of things I'm sure happened to the Irish people, happened to the Italian people, happened to the Jewish people and people of color, and only thing at a young age I wanted to do was wish everything get better. I didn't want to get killed. I don't want to kill nobody. And as right now today, I wish we can just all put this thing in the past and let's just go. There are some things we have to address. Different nationalities, different people, and make sure that they're satisfied. But other than that, the young people, I think, are doing a better job communicating with different nationalities and stuff. They're really the millennials, right?
Yes.
Are you a millennial?
No. Well, yeah, potentially. I'm 35. I'm kind of like in the middle.
Oh, I got 2 kids older than you. I'm
Yeah.
old.
Well, I think when you fought Frank Bruno, it was 84, right?
83, was it? 83.
83. So I was born the following year. So I just shortly missed out on that fight.
Wait a minute. I think that was 86.
Oh, was it
I fought
86?
Larry Holmes in 83. I fought Larry
Right.
Holmes in 83. Yeah, I fought Larry Holmes in 83. Then I fought Bruno. That was a great experience. Beautiful.
Yeah.
I got a grandson. I got a grandson in Barnsley.
You did say, yeah, yeah, yeah. So because you spent a lot of time in the UK. Did that come from the Bruno fight? Like, was it when you were over for that fight? Is that when you kind of like, you know, I suppose fell in love with the UK a little bit?
Well, you know, I had a nice taste of it then, but I went home. I still was fighting. When I retired, a lot of my friends, like a couple of my friends from the UK, called me, and I started doing events over there. I was in Sheffield first. Dennis Hobson Senior and Dennis Hobson Junior. That's the first time you heard of Dennis Hobson.
Mm-hmm.
He had I'm kind of mixed up there. The light heavyweight. Clinton Woods. I'm sorry. You know Clinton Woods. You heard of Clinton Woods?
Yes.
Clinton Woods was a light heavyweight, had plenty of heart, and I was that's my first boxer that I came back training, and I had a good time. I was hanging out with the Yorkshire people, ate Yorkshire pudding, you know, just enjoying the tradition. And I started going back and forth. Dennis Hobson Sr. kept bringing me back and forth. I trained Danny Toombs. I trained a couple other people. I had a chance to meet a lot of people over there, and it was beautiful.
What are some of your, you know, because obviously from your fights, your legacy, your heritage, I mean, it's you've achieved stuff that most boxers can only dream of. You know, you've done things not only once winning titles, but twice. You know, there have been so many great memories, fought some great people. What, in your opinion, what does it take to be a world champion? What's the special quality that you need?
I don't know. I don't know because I know that you do have to try hard. You got to work hard. You have to be disciplined. I really was expected, and everybody expected me to be an American football player. I was a tight end. I caught the football. I won a scholarship. I went to university. Then I got hurt, and I went home, and everybody was boxing. Buster Drayton, Earl Hargrove, Kenny Reese. My brother Anthony was 13-0 with 13 knockouts before he lost. I never wanted to spar with him. So I think there's a lot of guys, a lot of boxers today was groomed at a young age. I only had 7 amateur fights.
Wow.
I only had 7 amateur fights. And then I went and I had a trainer that was okay, but I don't think he was going to take me to the championship. And I found out later that he would. And most young people, they don't really know if their trainer could take them all the way or nothing like that. They just get in, they train, they get anybody. But this was the case with me. And I got a guy by the name of Clarence Booker. He was an okay guy. And when I found out that Larry Holmes was going to pay me $1,000 a week to spar with him because they heard about me, this young kid, Timmy Witherspoon, coming up being tough, they wanted to see who I was and they hired me. But my trainer never told me.
Wow.
I was training with him and he never told me. So somebody came to the gym and said, Tim, how come you're not up there with Larry Holmes? I said, what you talking about? He said, Larry was going to hire you as a sparring partner and they told your trainer. So I didn't tell my trainer. What I did was I left. I left and I went up to the mountains with Muhammad Ali's camp and started sparring with Matthew Saab Muhammad. And I knew that Clarence Booker stopped me from going there. And the reason why, because I would have found out the other trainers knew more than he knew. So
wow.
that was kind of like, you know, the beginning of everything.
I mean, what an experience to have, and to have that insight, you know, and to be given that insight. And it's something that I always wonder, how do young fighters that are coming up in the game now, how do they navigate that? Because it's so hard to look outside of the bubble that you're in and to know what's right for you, who are the right people. When we look back at your career, what advice would you give to those young fighters? Like, how do they navigate it? How do they spot, you know, when it's time to move on or it's time to look for somebody else to work with?
Well, I do believe that most of the young boxers, when they go into the gym, they don't really have a clue who's good, who's bad. But some of the boxers that have friends that as amateur boxers, they kind of got an idea who's who and who's what. So if you don't know nobody, you kind of like, it's you on your own. And that's what me and my brother Anthony did. Oh, no. Me and my brother Anthony knew a number writer. And the number writer said he knew somebody that was going to take care of us. But he disappeared. And we couldn't find him, so we went on our own. And that's how we wound up with this other trainer, who was a really nice old man. And after I won the title, I went to his gym to help him and I had my belt on my shoulder, and I went to his gym, and he told me not to come in.
Wow.
He told me not, because I wanted to help him. And this is what kind of person I am, you know. I wanted to go. I took another direction in my life, and I was always thinking about him. And I wanted to go back and help him, and he told me don't come in the gym. But if I would have stayed with him, I wouldn't be where I'm at today. I believe that's the truth. Yeah, because I was getting hit a lot. And even though I won 2 of the 7 fights, my very first fight, I fought a 4-time Golden Glove champ. And later on, I found out that was wrong. My first fight, he beat me. My mouth was bloody.
How did that make you feel when you were trying to approach the gym and were told don't come in? How did you feel at that time?
I did feel kind of bad. You know, he was an elderly guy. But I don't know why. I don't know why he didn't want to let me come in. I can imagine. But I thought I was really being really nice, and I think I would have made him feel a lot better. But I think it was because he was told that they was going to pay me. That was just one thing. That they was going to pay me to spar with the great Larry Holmes, and he stopped me from getting better. He tried to stop me from going on and try to get better. And I didn't care whether he did something bad. I just wanted to go back and give something back to somebody that made a bad decision. You know, so I felt kind of bad when he said, no, you can't come in. And then I just went on about my business.
Mm-hmm. What were some of, when you look back, what are some of the highlights that stand out? What's kind of when you think back and when, you know, people are talking about the accolades that you've achieved, what is it for you? Because sometimes the fans' highlights might be a little bit different to your personal highlights. So what was it for you?
I might explain the wrong thing. I don't know, because she said a couple accolades. Accolades. Explain that again.
So you
explain it again. Accolades meaning achievements.
Exactly.
Huh?
Exactly. Your achievements. What achievements stand out for you?
But really, you know, the thing is that when I got into the boxing game, I didn't have a goal. This is crazy. I'm heavyweight champ of the world 2 times, WBC, WBA, 2-time North American champ. Each time I won the North American, I got knockouts. And then I was a smaller. I had 5 titles. I had 2 big ones and 3 small ones. And I just don't know. I just kept pushing. I kept pushing and pushing. Then it felt like I got trapped. So I got into the boxing game, right? Thinking I just was going to mess around and box and you know, I wasn't a mean guy. I wouldn't bite ears off or be mean to people. I was an athlete. No, Mike is my man. Me and Mike is cool. I'm just saying that, but I think my personality and that sports, I love sports, and you know, my mom, used to tell me to, you know, don't be mean to people. I never was really trying not to be mean to people. I was mad at some of my children's mother and stuff, upset and stuff like that. But other than that, I try to go around and treat people like they're supposed to be treated. And you can ask everybody. When I go over England, I'm nice to everybody. Now, I can get mean, but there's no need to get mean. What you want to get mean for? You know, so I think one of my attributes is being nice to people and try to maneuver and get things done that way instead of being, okay, if you don't want me to do something, okay, I'll see you tomorrow. If you want to be angry with me, I'm not going to be angry with you because I got a reputation and I want to keep that going in a positive direction. You can't get nobody to say that I did something bad to them other than my kid's mother.
Well, thankfully they're not here, so we won't ask them.
Yo, one of my kids' mothers in Tottenham.
Oh, I support Spurs.
Shania, there she is. Shania, look. That's Shania.
Hi, Shania. I know we spoke. We've been speaking since yesterday. We've been messaging each other.
Yeah.
But
she's been keeping.
I want to speak about Shania. We'll get to Shania. Okay. I'm going to talk about Shania in just a little bit, if that's all right.
I don't like her. I don't like her.
But in terms of Tim, you know, like when we look back in your career, like the big things that stand out is obviously the World Championship, the titles that you've won, the people that you've fought, the stories that you have in terms of like sparring with, you know, the greatest, Muhammad Ali.
Muhammad Ali, yeah.
You know, it's
Matthew Shah Muhammad.
Absolutely.
Eddie Mustafa Muhammad.
Yes, 100%. Also, the role of Don King in your career. You know, like Don King is so far removed from what we know, for what I know. Do you know what I mean? Like, so we look back on that time with nostalgia, you know, and like the nostalgia of all the fighters who were around at that time, and you know, it's like it's from the history books. We're reading about it. You know what I mean? So to have you have experienced that and to be able to talk to you about it, it's a massive honor. So with that, you know, talk to me about that time with Don King, because we've heard the stories, we've read about the contracts with the, you know, how he worked and
you know, me and my brother really didn't want to go with Don King. It was something that happened in America that forced us to go with him. Our manager and his partners, they were dealing with drugs. They were making like $5 million a week or a month, and we didn't know it. And then when they got busted, okay, one of my manager's partners' name was Larry Levin, Dr. Snow. And they got busted, and that's how we wound up with Don King. We heard so much about Don, we didn't really want to go to him. And so we wound up with Don King, and we had to do the best we can. Mark Stewart was our manager, and he pushed us in the right direction. Before we went with Don, he said, you do the right thing, you're going to be wealthy, and we're going to make Don King pay you. Because Don was the biggest at that time. So when we went over to Don King, you know, we were angry, we was training, we know we had goals to reach, and you know, and then I wound up fighting, and then I went, we fought Frank Bruno, right? 50,000 people in the stadiums throwing stuff at us, screaming at us, and that was my dream. My dream was to go somewhere, knock out my opponent in another country, and come back victorious. You know, have my title and everything. You know, we flew into the airport. They had all the cameras, and this is the first time I'm getting this kind of treatment. And I'm like, okay, it gave me energy. You know, so then weeks before the fight, we were training. We went to Basel and Essex. We was training there. I started liking England. I started liking it over there and stuff, you know. And then the fight came. You know, I thought I was going to be rich after the fight. You know, and they said, you going in there, you got 65,000 people in the stadium. You got people buying it all around the world. Tim, you're going to have a lot of money. And after the fight, I went home with 95,000. when I was supposed to go home with like 2 point something million. Frank Bruno went home with 1.4 million, and I knocked him out.
Wow.
And yeah, and that was a lot to swallow. You know, a lot of other things was going on. I think I was not being taken care of every fight. You know, so I was in a situation I couldn't get out, and I just had to do the best I had to do it. And all along that journey, no one was helping us. So boxing needs support. Boxing needs a union. They saying it never happened, but we're trying hard in America to put a union together. Paul Johnson of the BOC, the Boxing Organizing Committee, we over here trying our hardest because we the only sport. Every sport has a union but us. It's overdue. And all these negative things that happened to me, and a lot of other boxers, I just wanted to do something about it and be a part of it and try to give back. Let's try to get a union. Let's take care of the boxers so when they die, like a lot of boxers passed away and couldn't get buried. They had to raise, you know about that, right? They had to raise the money to get them, to put them in the ground and everything. And so everybody loves boxing. You know, when you see a guy kick a field goal or you see a guy kick it into the net from 50 yards out, they start throwing punches. In all different kinds of sports, when somebody do something good, they start throwing punches and everything.
Yeah.
You know, so you know, dealing with Don King was really a learning experience, and I learned a whole lot. And at the end, at the end of everything, I just decided to just leave it alone. I'm tired of calling his name. I'm tired of saying Don King. If somebody asks me a question about him, I'm going to explain what happened. But as far as going around, Don King ripped me off. Don King did this. Don King that. I'm tired of it. I can't even enjoy my children. I can't even enjoy my family. So I kind of left it alone. He punched me in the face. I punched him back. It's over. So nobody helped us. There was a lot of wealthy people involved in the boxing game, officials, judges. Nobody helped the boxers. So what I'm going to do? You know, I left the game, and I'm just going to try to give back and help and see if we can put this together.
So with that, Tim, because it's a very, you had a very, you know, negative experience with terms in the boxing industry. You experienced the negative end of the business of boxing. So from a personal context, how do you get past that? How do you let the bitterness go? And how do you move on from it? You know, because I imagine it would be very easy to sit in the negativity, to sit in the bitterness, and to say, I should have gotten, I didn't get, and you're stifling your own life then.
Yeah, I was brought up to not want what somebody else want. I was bitter. I didn't want to hurt nobody. I hear people say, "Why ain't you shoot his behind? Why ain't you beat him up?" I wasn't brought up that way. I was angry for years. I was mad because I seen people with lesser talent getting rich, you know, had a better deal. I had to try to control that. I had to try to control my anger, but I was really, and you know what? I didn't train as hard as Holyfield and train as hard as Tyson. I trained, but they did, and there's a lot of other guys, they did some training. I did train, but I thought I known that I could have trained even a little bit more harder. I think I would have went a lot further. But like you said, with all the people and all the stuff that I went through, and a lot of other boxers went through, how did I survive? How did I survive? Right? I left it alone, and just went on. And like I said before, started being closer to my kids, making sure they don't make the wrong moves. People were saying, man, why ain't you shooting? Why ain't you do this? So I was representing the Irish boxer, and Don King was allegedly ripping him off. He's from America. So they called me in to stand with him. And you know I'm going to stand with something going wrong, I'm going to stand there. We got to do the right thing. So they flew me over there. They flew me over to Vegas where the boxer was fighting. He lost the fight, but I was in the corner. I was there supporting him. I was with him all the way. And if they start anything, I was on the boxer side. I was on the Irish kid side. So after the end of the fight, Don King came over to me and said, he looked at me and he came over and he put his arms out and said he loved me. And I hesitated for a minute and I said, and I gave him a hug. And he said, I said, I love you too, right? This is a true story. And then during the same time, like after I did it, I said, I just hugged Don King and told him I love him. And you know what? I said, now I gotta go on with my life. I was like, I ain't gotta talk about Don anymore. You know? I got my kids. I got my friends that was loyal to me. I don't really have I got a whole lot of friends, but I don't be like going around too much no more. I just deal with the kids. But I felt something and I said, you know, I'm free. I'm free. And that's what I've been feeling ever since he said that. You know, but I still feel resentment, you know, because of the situation I'm in, the money and all that. Sometimes I get a little angry that, man, I could have did this, I could have did that. So I'm just trying to get back. I try to get a job with Joshua. I try to get, like I said, I try to get a job with these guys. They need help. They need help.
Well, let's talk about Joshua. Where do you see where he needs the help?
Well, like I said, I was over in Sheffield. I was over in London. I was over in Sheffield, and I was with him a couple of. He does need defense. A lot of these. Look how good I talk. Now, there's a lot of boxers out there. Now, because I had a lot of things to do, maybe my mind is like, and I might be forgetting some things right now, and I need help. I need help as far as like work. I'm gonna get back to what you're talking about. I need work. I need the boxing industry to give these retired, I'm retired, to give me a job. Let me speak more. Let me come in. I'm only going to events, speaking at events where we're raising money for former boxers. So why can't they give me a job? I'm a former 2-time heavyweight champion of the world. Why can't they give a lot of these guys jobs, bring us on, so the history of boxing won't be stagnated. It'll all be filled in, every slot. This era, that era. I forgot the question you was asking me.
The question was Anthony Joshua. You said you'd like to work from. Where do you see yourself fitting into his camp?
Well, I feel you listen. They can keep their trainer, right? He does definitely need to learn how to defense, how to block and counter. And that'll make him feel comfortable. What made me, how I won a lot of my fights, I was confident that my opponent won't be able to hit me as much, you know, like he want to. If he hit me, it's because I let him or I made just a little mistake. I had a good defense, and there's a lot of my boxing buddies that can't talk like I talk. Like they busy, they're not talking right. So I think Joshua definitely needs defense. Wilder definitely needs defense. They got to tighten it up. Every time they have those fights, the build-up is beautiful. The music, the uniforms. And then as soon as the bell ring, I get disappointed because I don't see the things that I used to see. I see amateurs acting like, you know, trying to do professional things. You paid a lot of money. I know you want to see a really good fight. You want to see some skills. The young people, they don't know the skills because they're learning. But I do because I'm a former champ, a former boxer, and I can see the things that have helped them. So I send messages to people to try to get him. I would do it for nothing. If you like what I show you, right, hire me. You know, that's what I was telling people. I had friends over there was trying to get him to wake up. He wouldn't have lost that fight with Ruiz if I was there. I'm telling you. And let me say another thing. I might be a teacher and a trainer, but the boxer actually have to go out there and execute and do what he has to do. I don't really do the job. The boxer does the job. I just teach him. So he gets all the credit. So when Joshua go out there and win that fight, he did it. I'm there to make his job easier. That's all.
So with that then, when you look at the heavyweight division, is there anyone that stands out? Is there anyone who you think, you know, is doing the right thing? Is there anyone who you think doesn't need your help?
My help, and there's a couple other good trainers out there too. I'm just saying I can do the job. You know what? I also met what's the heavyweight from London? It's Joshua Fordham. Joshua Fordham.
Tom Little.
No, not Tom Little. Just the Jamaican guy.
Oh, Dillian Whyte.
Dylan Whyte. Dylan Whyte. Listen, I'm gonna tell you something. Dylan's trainer is a good guy, he's a nice guy. But Dillian needs a little bit more too. These guys just this close from taking over everything. And all they got to do is hire somebody to show them three things, not 20. Not 10, just 3 things, defensive things. Keep that jab, gotta be strong. Because when that jab is strong, you can dictate. But if your jab ain't strong, you will have to think of other things to do. But that jab will keep them thinking so you can get all your other stuff in.
Mm-hmm.
That hurts. That jab gotta be in. And then you can work on the other thing. Your defense gotta be tight. But that jab, my trainer told me, the jab is, you got to work on that jab and make it work for you, and that'll make your job easier. So I tried to do that too back in the day.
So before, because everyone got a chance to ask questions during the day, I had a little thing up so they can put in questions to ask you. So I'm going to get to that now. But before I do, if Joshua and Fury ever do end up fighting, what's your prediction?
Okay, I just want to say I love them guys. I love all of them. Okay, that's the first thing I'm gonna say. But what I have noticed in some previous fights is that Anthony Joshua, if you hit him, he's going down. Mm-hmm. He's going down. And I found out now Wilder could punch pretty good. But I found out that Fury is kind of because Steve Cunningham hit him and dropped him. Steve could punch, but Steve dropped him. But it was a flash knockdown. But I think that if he would have, you saw that? Did you know about Steve Cunningham fighting? Right. And I was training at the same gym with Steve. You know, I'll tell you a little story about. Tyson Fury. He got dropped. Joshua easily got dropped. Dillian Whyte got dropped, but I think he can take a better punch than those other 2 guys. And you know what? I like that DeBose kid for some reason. DeBose from London.
Oh, Daniel Dubois.
Dubois, yeah.
Yeah. We all love Daniel.
Huh?
We all love Daniel. He's very young. He's 21, 22 years of age.
That's all.
Mm-hmm.
But I think there's a couple of things missing from him too, and he's quick, he's fast, but there's some things that if somebody capitalize on some of his little mistakes, that he's quick, so you can't see some of the stuff, the mistakes that I see, some of the things that can help him. So he's quick, boom, boom, and take you out. But I can see some things that if he do fight somebody that's on the same level and everything like that, that he could get caught. But he's doing a really good job. I'm really impressed with him. But Joshua and Fury, they just need defense. Fury got a lot of heart. Fury has a lot of heart, and I like the way he's just a showman. I like that, and everybody loves that. But to me, when he start moving around and everything, it's kind of awkward the way he boxes and stuff, and he gets the job done. Mm-hmm. But guys like me and like that had good defense, we get in close and just touch them on the chin, and the fight is over. You keep us on the outside, you might could do something, but I would keep my hands up, get in close. It'll be this easy work. It's easy work. Touch them on the chin, and the fight is over. But I do respect these guys. They're really trying to save the boxing game, putting on these good fights. even though I think the skill level is not the way it used to be when we was. But non-boxing people who just like to see the fight, oh, it's really great. But people that know it and been there and done that, I really get, you know, when the bell rings. I want to see more slip. I want to see bam, slip, bam, you know, defense. I want defense blocking with your hand like this so people can actually see what you're doing. You know, and yeah, boom, 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 you know, block here, throw a hook over top, stuff like that. You don't see the Art, Sugar Ray Robinson, and all those guys that used to do that stuff, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I feel bad that the managers and promoters don't see that what their boxers need, and they just want to continue and keep the guy you have. Keep the trainer you have. Just have a guy come in like a doctor, fix a problem or help a problem. He can go about his business, pay him, and let the other guy stay there. But they don't even do that. In my days, if you didn't do the right thing, the promoter, the manager, he's like, hey, we got to find somebody. But now Eddie Hearns and all these other promoters, they're not looking at their product. Tyson, Joshua wouldn't have lost that fight if his trainer was teaching him a little bit more tight. Why did he run around the second fight? He didn't need to, big and strong. They get run and don't get hit, right? That was embarrassing. I love that brother. I love all of them. But that was embarrassing. He got the wrong message. He could have stood there, toe-to-toe, or at his distance, used his jab, slip, boom, boom. The guy's knocked out. When he ran, everybody was criticizing him. I felt bad because I know him. And he don't have to do that. He didn't have to do that. Neither did Wilder. Wilder came in when Tyson Fury knocked him out. The first round, I knew something was wrong with Wilder. The first round. All he has is a right hand. All he has is a right hand. I love these guys now. I'm criticizing just because I love these guys and I want them to do it.
Yeah.
All he has is a right hand. If I was his opponent trainer, I would practice for 2 months just blocking his right hand. And the fight is over. Because he won't hit you with the right hand, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's all his opponents have to do. Now, I send messages to his camp, too, to see if they need any help. I don't have to be in the corner. They don't have to give me a shirt. They can if they want to. Just let me show him some stuff. What's wrong with these managers and promoters? They thinking about money. Come on. That's true, but let's think about the boxer's legacy, what he's going to leave behind. We want people to say positive things about him.
Yes, I agree. Well, they might see this. You never know. They might see this and they might get you in, right?
Well, if they don't, I'm still going to be happy. I got my children. I'm going to come back over there. I'm going to come over when all this stuff, I'm coming to Ireland. I'm going to go to England, you know, have some fun.
Good stuff. Well, we'll welcome you with open arms. But let's have a look at the questions and see what everyone wants to ask you, okay?
Okay. Let's go.
Walter Flynn has asked, will you come to Dublin and go on the beer with him?
I used to drink Guinness and port.
Really? Well, that's a good combination. He'll definitely take you up on that offer. But
yeah, I wouldn't mind.
Walter has also asked, this is from Walter Flynn as well, he's asked him if he believes some fighters are moved too quickly and how do you judge?
Yeah, you're talking about their motion, they're moving too fast. So that's what I think he's talking about. I think a lot of fighters move quick so they don't get hit. So if you notice, there's a lot of boxers that don't move fast because they know how to block. They know exactly how to move and slip because they're relaxed. I think a lot of boxers move fast, and that's a part of their defense also. Ricky Hatton moved like that for defensive reason too. That's how he didn't get hit. If he would slow down, he would have got hit. He wouldn't have made it that far. Mm-hmm. So you see a lot of guys moving around too much. That's too much movement just to throw one punch. They moving. So I was training a guy one time over there. He did like 3 movements just to throw one punch. He did like that threw the punch. I was like, that's too much movement. Just go boom. So all the movement, I think, if you want to look pretty, if you want to go dancing, I think that's good. If you want to be Muhammad Ali, if you want to try to imitate Muhammad Ali, that's good. But I think a lot of movement is done because a lot of those guys don't have defense. And they move a lot so they don't get hit. And then some guys just got a lot of energy and they want to move. So that's my assessment of that situation there.
Very good answer. Another question I have here. Stanford Boxing said, saw you fight in the UK with Kenny Rainford. It was an exhibition fight. So he's watching, saying hello.
Kenny is a good friend.
Connor has asked, what emotions were you feeling when you won your world title?
When I won the world title, okay. When I won the world title the first time, it was really a sad thing. I won the title, but I knew I was going to get ripped off. So I don't think I had the feeling Joshua had, or Wilder, or Tyson, or Muhammad Ali. I was fighting fights knowing that I wasn't going to get paid properly and we weren't getting treated right. So I didn't really I felt like a champ, but I didn't feel like a full champ. So I had to live with it. You know, and so that's the thing. So when everybody expected me, was I happy? I don't really know how them other guys feel when they won it. I seen them real happy, jumping up and down. I did throw my hands up. But I think I've been robbed out of the real feeling of being a champion, and we just got to keep going on. That's it. I didn't feel good about it. It made it seem at the time. At the time, I was happy, but really inside, I wasn't, because I knew I was thinking later that I was going to get the money taken from me.
Wow, it's such a story. It's such a story that you have.
Yeah. Yep. Next question. Is there any more?
Let's see. Wally has asked, how do you feel you would do in your prime now against the heavyweights today? So if you were in your prime and you were up against the heavyweights today, how do you think you would fare?
Ooh, boy. I think I would have 100 million. But you know what? These young guys are in better shape than we were in our day. They're in better shape. All we'd have to do was get in tremendous shape. That's it. And, you know, my trainer, Slim Jim Robinson, taught me a lot of stuff. He taught so much stuff that I forgot some of it, you know. And so I know I would do really good, and I would feel comfortable. Because if I know a guy don't have defense, I know he's worried that he's going to get hit. He has to think more than I have to think, because I know I have a defense. So, you know, I have to keep that hard jab on him. And if I connect with that jab, that's enough to take his mind off of what he's doing to hit him with all the rest of the stuff. So that jab got to be not perfect, but it's got to be consistent. It's got to make him think. It's got to take his mind off of certain things when you keep getting hit with it, so you can get the other stuff in. So I really, I would have fun fighting today, serious. But I'm not putting these guys down. They train hard. They're really loyal to their people and everything. But loyalty might not get you everything you want. You know, when it comes to the boxing game, I'm loyal to my friends. I love them. I'm loyal to my family, my kids. But sometimes you got to make a decision that's going to benefit everybody. And in these cases, they're not. It's either the greed, not from the boxer, maybe from the management. They don't want to do it because the management don't want it, or something like that. I don't know. But to me, it's really stupid not to get some help. If something happened to you that negative, like in the boxing, and you box and you want to try to find out how can you fix it. If your trainer can't do it, you're not taking nothing from them. Get somebody else to help you. You save a lot of negative things from happening.
I hear you. Well, I'm going to take 2 more questions, Tim. because I've kept you long enough. So one
I'm
question that
okay.
we have,
I'm okay.
you're okay.
I'm okay. It's up to you. It's up to you.
So I have a
How
question
much
here
time
from.
you got, Shania?
I've got a question here from Lily, and she's asked, from Lily May, will your daughter fight? Now, I know we spoke about this during the week.
Who, her?
And you did tell me that Shania wants to be a boxer. So how as your dad
Yeah.
does that make you feel? Because I know you've obviously got a son that fights, Junior.
Yeah, he quit.
He's
His leg
quit,
was hurt.
but
No, he
how do
hurt
you
his
feel about
leg.
your little girl?
You know what? I got 4 more daughters. I got 4 more, but she does have a lot of following people in Ireland. She got friends in Ireland. She got friends in England. You know, we was over there like 9, 10 times with her. She was over there, and she has grown up people talking to a grown up. I really don't want her fighting, but she has a lot of anger in her. You know, she has a lot of anger in her, and it'll be a good way to release some of it. And she will be like her family over there will be proud of her. Her family will be proud of her. We've been going over there to meet with her mom and her family. Her uncle is Meridian Dan.
You told me this, the rapper, right?
Already told her.
Yeah, I did. But what is it? What's the record he has out?
I'm not telling you.
Tell me.
The old song is old.
You know what it is, right?
3 years old.
No, I don't know what it is.
That man. What is it? Shania, tell me.
See right there.
Tell me.
See right there.
What? Oh, German whip. See that man with the German whip? You don't know that one? See that man with the German whip? He was a good boxer too. He was a good boxer.
Really?
Yep. With the German whip. That's his record there. Yeah. Shania, what you laughing for? I love it, man. I never expected to go this far. I never expected. You got somebody else?
Yes, I've one question here. It's a very good one. And okay. Dino has asked, I'll put it into context of the question, but he said, you know, obviously this week we've seen Mike Tyson. They put out the video of him, you know, hitting pads, and there's been a massive reaction online, you know, still a killer, still got it. Will we see him fight again? So the question from Dino is, do you think that Mike should fight again, even if it's just an exhibition fight? And would you consider an exhibition fight in the future?
For me?
Yeah.
Or
so
him?
well, 2 things. Do you think that Mike should have an exhibition? And would you consider it in the future?
I think that Mike, if he want to give it a try, I think that he should do it. I don't think he was really hurt that much in the game. He was hurting everybody else. So I think Lennox Lewis got him, a couple other people got him, but he really wasn't hurt. If he want to do an exhibition without headgear on, is it?
Yeah.
Is it with headgear?
I think it might be without headgear, but they haven't put out anything official yet.
That's totally up to him. I think that'd be a great drawing. I think that a lot of people want to see how interesting that is. And hopefully, if they allow him to fight and you know, the fight and you know, one of those guys like not Joshua, fight, they allow him to fight, I think he'll do good. Mm-hmm. I think he'll do good. So it's really up to the commission and them to let him do it. Is he hungry? Is he hungry?
This is it.
Or is he having a lot of fun? That's the key. Is he having a lot of fun? He just want to go in and do something. But I think if he gets serious for 3 months, I think he'll do something. Because these kids don't have defense. And if Mike get close to them, somebody get knocked out. Shania, this is serious. Stop that. You see my shirt, right?
Oh, wow.
You see it?
Yeah. What is that rugby?
Yeah.
What
I got
team
that
is
over in England. What team is this, Shania? It's the gold What is this,
I
man?
can't see.
Wait a minute. What is that?
Talk or something?
Oh, you can't see it.
Tim, we're going to have to get you an Irish rugby jersey. That's that.
I'll wear it. Hey, you get.
I'll get you one.
Listen.
I'll get you one.
Yeah, I don't be having that much fun. I would love to get in the boxing game, and my son has a gym about 10 minutes from here, right?
Yeah.
About 10 minutes from here. He got hurt when he was fighting, and he couldn't continue on. But I would love to get involved with some of these boxers and show my skills. I do believe I don't talk like I'm punch drunk, do I?
Not at all. Not at all. And I think you'd be very good at commentating, if I'm being honest with you. I think you make a very good commentator.
Well, this is the problem. What we need, what these promoters and what these networks need to do before boxing lose history. And we lose history because there are little holes in the gap. Each year, you have a group of boxers, or each so many years, they coming in, they whip their butt, they lose or they win, and then they gone. And there's nothing for them. We need to have something waiting for them when it's over, like me. Now, like me and Tony Tubbs, Tony Tucker, all these guys, Mike Tyson, Evander Holyfield, they constantly do talking. But there's other guys that was visible during my era. They need to bring them back before the people forget who they are, you know, or where this guy been at. Okay, David Bay passed away. He was Mitch Blood Green, who had a big fight with Tyson. You have a whole lot of boxers that can literally get up and talk and tell their story. And I think this is what boxing is missing today. You have Tyson Fury, you have Wilder. They got the younger guys in there, Ward and all these other guys. You got guys from England, Paulie Malignaggi. What about try to get all these guys to incorporate, find some work for us? Because after our career is over, nobody's helping us. But every other sport in the world has it. And that's what I've been doing. I've been doing this ever since I retired. There's, like I said, there's a lot of group. There's Ring 10, Ring 8. There's the WBC helping. They have an organization. You know, there's a lot of them doing it, raising money. And we have to take care of these boxers. A lot of them can't talk like I can talk. They can't. And I get really depressed when I see that. Some of them like making movements and stuff like that. So we have to put our program together in the box and incorporate us former boxers in the industry so we can keep hope alive. Is that the good word? You know, keep hope alive. So
I agree, 100%. Well, what a great note to leave the interview on. Thank you so much.
Oh, kicking me to the curb, Shania. She's kicking us to the curb. You're gonna have me on again?
I will have you on again, and hopefully we'll get someday to do a proper interview, a proper sit-down one.
This is a proper one. This is good.
The one where we're in the same room together.
Okay, but this is cool. This is cool, and you know what? I thank you for having me on.
No problem.
It's making me sharp. Each time I do an interview, I get better and better. And when we don't, you know, we get hit with punches. We get hit with punches. We throw punches. Why, after our career is over, it's all over? Why? You just used us and threw us to the curb? No. Let us get involved too, you know.
I agree.
And a lot of depressed former boxers out there. I've seen them. I went to events. Some of them walking, limping. Some of them really can't talk. And they're left behind. And this is, a lot of people don't see that. They just see the big fights and stuff. What about the people that set the pace for those guys in that ring? We can't forget about them. So we're going to, it's hard over there to start a union, especially in Ireland, in England. We're just trying to get support for the boxers. We're not trying to take money out of nobody's pocket, help the boxers out. Right? So yeah, just let us do that. So I'm glad to be on here. Thank you.
Thank you.
And call me back. Call me back.
I will. 100%. I promise you I will. And Shania, it was so lovely to speak to you, and hopefully we'll see each other soon.
Okay.
Yeah, we
keep training hard. Keep training hard.
She's trying to steal my show.
Yeah, I
I'm gonna
am.
punch her in the face. Hey, thank you very
Okay.
much.
No
Anytime
problem.
you need me, anytime you need me on the internet, just call me. I want to be involved in something, okay?
Yes, 100%. Thank you very much.
All
A
right,
pleasure.
thank you.
Thank you, Tim. Bye,
All right.
Shania.
All right, bye-bye. See you later.